study conducted by the Central Statistics Agency shows that the rate of youth unemployment in Ethiopia, particularly in urban areas, stood at 23%. And unemployment has been a hotly debated topic among politicians as well as policy makers and scholars for decades in Ethiopia. And with at least 2 million people joining the workforce yearly, the number of jobs available, especially in urban areas, has been limited and leaving many youths across the country out of jobs. To avert these, several policies, including channeling funds to those organized as small and medium enterprises, have been implemented. In 2017, for example, a revolving fund for the youth was introduced, and the result was disappointing as many beneficiaries failed to repay their loans. A very warm welcome to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Etv Special Edition, and I'm Sintayo Tamrat with this edition. With this special program, I'll focus on the unemployment situation in Ethiopia, as well as some companies like Daraja.com, who is just working with fresh graduates in finding jobs. And my guest today is Siham Ayela, the program director of Daraja.com. Stay with us. A very warm welcome to you, Siham Ayela.
Thank you for having me in this program.
Well, let's start our program with the observation on the problem of Ethiopian youth, particularly those fresh graduates in searching or hunting for jobs. Can you explain some of the observations you have on that?
You know, in Ethiopia currently, we're facing the youth unemployment challenge, and the major gap is that these university graduates, they don't have the skills that is demanded by the employers for two reasons. The first thing is that the employability skills that these employers are looking for, such as taking initiative, communication, time management, team management, they're not integrated in the curriculum, and they don't have any awareness about it. And so these are basic skills which you think you will be developing through time or once you will be on a job. But these are the kind of skills that actually been required, because now the economy is growing and a lot of international companies are being involved in our country. So the other reason is that they don't have any career awareness. If you asked an accounting graduate, and if you ask him, okay, after you graduate, what will you be looking for a job, and he wouldn't know. And if you would ask him, what are the top 5 companies that you want to work in, he'll just basically tell you one of the banks, and namely the Ethiopian National Bank. But we have over 20 banks in Ethiopia, you know. So we start seeing the gap between the gap on our graduates in terms of their skills, their career awareness, and then how and where to find a job, and also how to prepare for it. So Daraja started this initiative and started collaborating with all public universities at first to establish the care center services, as well as to be able to provide these skills for the graduates.
Well, so what are just the major programs of Daraja.com?
We started our initiative basically being a social enterprise of EthioJobs.net. It is the bigger company's Infomine solutions, and EthioJobs has been known for almost 23 years now. It's been the leading job board, and we started the Daraja initiative in 2017. Started actively involving because we started seeing a demand from the employers. But we didn't just want to go to the universities and teaching them about the kind of training that they need to be aware of before they graduate. So we wanted to have a very systematic approach, and we wanted to be a very sustainable approach as well. So we started collaborating with the Ministry of Education back then, and then also suggesting the idea of the establishment of care center services in all public universities. The first 2 years, of course, it was very difficult, not having the system at the ground, or even not having the awareness, but trying to embed this program or part of the university structure was very difficult. But I think a lot of universities, especially the first generation universities, they were very much aware of it. And when they start seeing the result of the students, because we used to go and travel around and provide them this 2-3 days employability skill trainings. So the first hand from the universities, it was, okay, now this will make them employable, because the universities are giving them all the knowledge, all the theory, and all the practicals. But it is just how they're going to implement this knowledge was the missing middle. So the Career Center Initiative is the flagship project program that we initiated. Even soon, we start training the instructors, because now they start realizing also, I also need to look professional, I also need to have the skills, so it start becoming a two-way approach. So we start providing this training for instructors, and we selected career counselors. So the university starts setting up small offices for the students to come and visit the center, so that they know how to apply for jobs on their computers, so that they will be able to take mini trainings inside the care center office, so that they will be also guided on the kind of industries out there. So we're able to provide them this information in a digital and then also on a manual form. So the Care Center flagship is one of the projects that we had, and which is still going. We managed to support more than 20 universities to actually establish this Care Center services. And currently, a lot of first generation universities has been running these initiatives on their own. They just need, if they need any technical assistance of updated job labor market information, or if they need assistance on trainers, that's how we collaborate currently. The other program is definitely, when we start taking this initiative, the student side is, okay, now you're giving me this training, does it mean I am employable? Is the kind of question they've been asking us. Is there an employer out there that are actually looking for a fresh graduate? So they were very desperate enough to actually see this employer. So the job fairs, which we organize annually, and we started also organizing them on the university level as well in different regions. We organize them before the students, their graduation, so that they will be able to meet these employers on their university compound. So we may not have a lot of employers when it comes to the recruiting fresh graduates, but gradually it's been changing and it's been progressing. The first thing is also employers used to have their reservation in terms of hiring a 0-year fresh graduates, because they used to think they don't have any work experience and they have to invest on their trainings. And once they do, they wouldn't be staying with them as well. So that's where Daraja stepped in, to actually comfort the employers and to actually also build the capacity of the students and to make them really employable. So this job fairs would be a very good opportunity to connect the students and the employers face to face. So in that regard, employers start really seeing the gradual change that has been being done in the students. And then they were very happy when they witnessed them, because they are very much confident, they have a very nice CV, that we help them to actually have a standard CV on the Daraja platform. And they're also going out there and then asking them, do you have a job for me? No, they will be actually, I'm this graduate, I know about your company, I want to work. So the conversation even start changing, and that is really, really helpful, and more graduates start becoming more hopeful even to see that, okay, it's not probably the supply and the demand really wouldn't match in terms of the number of graduates that we would have and the kind of jobs that our country would provide. But you know, that is also the second initiative that we still doing. That is a great platform for the students. And the other is the Daraja Academy Accelerator Program, because we noticed when it comes to providing employability skill trainings, it's very easy, but we really want it to be a two-way sided. These young fresh graduates, most of them, they want to be part of this training program, but they actually want to be part of the training programs because they feel like they will find a job immediately. But we would like to create ambassadors of these young people. In terms of the number of graduates that we have, it's a competition out there. So we really want to create these young graduate ambassadors that immediately will join different organizations and immediately will take a supervisory role or a managerial role. In that case, they will be a good ambassador for their organization, and those students who will be part of the Daraja Academy program will stay in for 12 weeks, a very intensive program that has 8 modules and complementary with the professional training programs, and then also career counseling sessions. So these training programs used to be provided with industry experts, we call them. If the program has, let's say, project management, one of the modules, we'll be asking a very seasoned industry expert to actually provide those trainings for the students. So this is how Daraja Academy works, and what we do is whoever will be part of this program will make sure that they will get placement afterwards. So that's the reward at the end of the day. And then most employers who will be hiring the Daraja Academy program, who will be hiring the graduates of the Daraja Academy, now they will be like looking at the students and, you know what, we would like to recruit 10 graduates next year and 20 graduates next year. So they started actually giving us already the recruitment needs, because they actually wants to get the candidates. So in a way, we don't create the jobs, we actually bring all the jobs and try to be the linkage platform, but Daraja Academy start becoming an opportunity for us to create more job opportunities, and employers really look for these graduates as well. And it's also start becoming a very start changing the dynamics when it comes to the employers. They used to have the mindset of hiring a young graduate or giving an opportunity for employment. Now start becoming, we need to have young people in our office. So that is a very good achievement for us, and this has been the different initiative that has been run by Daraja, which is also currently been supported by the MasterCard Foundation, so that we will have more resources and so that we can have more impacts in these programs. And we have different projects that we collaborate with different organizations and different capacity as well. Also this year, because we actually want to have a very sustainable and systematic approach, we started taking these trainings to the actual university instructors. So of course, we recruit the students to be part of this program. We also start recruiting instructors to be the trainers for this program. So this year what we did is we managed to train about 32 industry expert instructors on their different field and then also their expertise. And then this industry experts provided the training for the instructors this year. So that now this instructor will be not only they have the knowledge of or the way of lecturing, but now they also know how to connect their courses with the different industries, with the different skills that has been required. Now even their teaching style will be changing. Now actually it's the instructors who are currently delivering the training for the students, and we managed to do it in the university campuses. Previously, because of COVID, we used to run these programs virtually as well.
And how long have you been engaged in this program? And also, what are just the major challenges that you have faced so far?
I think now, as part of the business unit of Ethiopia Jobs, it's been almost, we're going to the 6 years. And the first challenge is definitely, when we started it, it was very hard because youth unemployment is a very vast issue. It's not only like, it's an economic issue, it is a social issue, it is even it's not only something that you can blame when it comes to there is an education gap and they don't have the skills. It is a very complex issue, especially when you know that you have 70% of the young population in Ethiopia, and mostly from the age of 15 to 25, I would say they will take about 30% of the population, I would say. So even the mindset was the first challenge. Being young and looking for a job and not being able to be provided any opportunity, that was very, very difficult. Even when we started even talking to the employers, like I said, 0 years experience, it's not something that was used in our country. So that was something that we really need to prove to the different employers that they're actually worth being employed. When it comes to the actual, even the young people, because they're very much used to seeing their brothers and sisters not being employed. So the only means for them to go and then join an university, it is because they need to have the degree. So they don't see themselves being ambitious, they don't see themselves being hopeful, or they don't even envision for themselves that they will be becoming the next leaders of anything. So they don't have that hope. So when you go in and with a training program to provide them employability skills and telling them that you are employable, it's basically you're just telling them something that they don't even believe in themselves. So even for the students, for quite a lot, they will tell us, oh, this is fake, you guys are not very serious, where are the jobs? You don't create those jobs. Probably we have 1,000 jobs basically for 100,000 students, and it does not even match. What we're trying to teach them is for them to become competent, for them to start really shifting their thinking of, I am employable, I'm gonna be theirs, so I need to start taking all the necessary steps. So even from the perspective of the young people, it was really hard to change that, that thinking and making them hopeful was something difficult. When it comes to the education system, what we're trying to do is also not changing the whole curriculum or disrupt how the education system really works, but we managed to identify the gaps. I went to obviously a very good university, Addis Ababa University, but I've seen the gap that our education system never prepared us for the job market and never prepared us to become, to be business leaders or to be company leaders at one day. We basically don't have any information. You study something and you don't even know where to go, how to apply, who to approach. So that was the missing middle. And you see them after graduation carrying out their CVs without any standard and sending them in different ways, and they don't hear back. So having career center services in the university system and trying to embed that system as part of the university structure was a bit difficult, but you know, that challenge started bringing a very beautiful result, because now they start seeing the result of it as well. So I would say this has been the main challenge, which we overcome. We managed to overcome. The fact that we managed to stay and then being a pioneer on starting this initiative, and then also succeeding and still, you know, keep going, having the capacity to keep going, I would say that we definitely, we are succeeding, and we have a long way to go. And it's not an initiative that you can do by yourself. It's not an initiative for one private sector. It is a collaboration work between the government, the universities, the different ministries, even the young people themselves and different employers. So I would say we've come this far, and then we will continue with the different collaborations, definitely, even the media, because now we're talking about this and we're giving awareness for a mass graduates that you are employable. Make sure that you're making an effort. We're giving a message to different employers that really needs to start giving opportunities for young people. So yeah, I think we have achieved so far. Even if you would ask me numbers, in the past 5 years, to different linkage platforms that we have through our job fairs, through the care centers, to our website, we managed to link close to 65,000 graduates throughout our journey. So I would say definitely we're succeeding.
Well, now let's come to the recent Career Expo at the Addis Ababa University. And did it turn out to be good?
Definitely. When we started organizing this career fairs, even for entry level since 2017, I would say, they were a kind of platform where we were planning to showcase our graduates to the employers. Employers would come and tell you, okay, let's try to give opportunity for these young people, but you know, they were even then hesitant to actually recruit these young people. But gradually, I would say, start becoming fruitful, because they start seeing the change when it comes to these graduates. They have proper CVs, like I said, they know how to communicate, they know what to ask, they look really presentable, and they're confident even their ability. So now this career fair programs start becoming, rather than a showcase where employers start coming in and trying to get their database, their information, whether they have a recruitment opportunity on the spot or not, but they know down the line they will be having definitely an internship or employment opportunity. So they actually want to come and grab these graduates immediately. So we used to have a lot of employers coming in while they're trying to it's a good opportunity for employers to brand themselves, to network with different employers out there, to see how their company, their business is doing currently, and to learn from one another and everything. But these days, instead of having a lot of employers, we started having an actual employers who are actually there to provide job opportunities for these graduates. So the one we did in Addis Ababa we managed to I think we had about 1,000 graduates, close to 50 companies were there. We took a lot of feedback from the employers. They were interviewing, they were providing information, even they were collecting their database. And yes, it was a good platform, I would say. Now we'll keep following up on the success of the employment opportunity.
As Daraja.com is a company that offers employability skills for young new graduates, what are the basic skills that will make a given fresh graduate stand out?
I think the first thing is we first started with how to write CV, or how to score A in the interview, or how do you apply for the job, or where do you even look for this graduate, where do you even look for these jobs. And we really started dipping into, before even teaching them how to do it, first they need to be also aware of who they are and who they want to be. Because currently how the job market is working is for basically your skills and your attitude. So we really need to shape that. So we start teaching them even about self-discovery. We help them to create their career plan starting from now and where they see themselves in the next 10 years. So self-discovery is the first process. We really want them to be self-aware. We want them to really differentiate their strengths and weaknesses, and how to support them to work on the strengths and how to improve their weaknesses as well. And communication is the next aspect, where we give a very high emphasis. Communication could be body language, how they present themselves, what to communicate. It could be also communication and writing email, a simple email. So in both aspects, we teach them that. The other thing, I think, which is very important on the job, but how our education system does not really teach us, is the analytical thinking part and being creative. We've always been taught, or this is what happened, or this is what has been done, but how to think analytically is something that is really missing. So that is the analytical part is something that we also provide them. And then time management, that also requires professionalism, which means that how do you present yourself in the workplace? How do you manage to get your first or 60 days of, how do you manage to succeed on that? And how do you work as a team? And how do you actually overcome the different challenges or the diversity that comes with the workplace as well? These are the different skills that we've been teaching them, and which we actually believe is very, very important.
Well, is there any sort of mechanism that you cross-check that graduates you have given trainings have joined jobs?
I think the first thing is, if and when the employer comes back, it means we did a very good job, because they were very impressed of the candidates that we provided them. Now we know that it's working, and we also ask them how to improve on the training programs. And a lot of employers are very much genuine, and they're actually helpful, and they're actually involved in our training programs also. They would say like, maybe can you teach them to slow down a bit? Or they're very much eager. Once they know, they're very much eager. They'll be joining in. After a year, they will ask you, what's my next career position? Even employers really need to adjust and restructure their system, because they're very fast. So we get feedback from the employers. So when they come back to us, and then we would know that they recruited our students, we'll get the numbers, we'll ask them feedback, and then now they also have different demands. That's what it means. Even from the students, we have different programs. We have different channels, especially our Telegram channel. We have that says Ask Daraja. They can ask us anything, even if they would say, I have applied for this job, I have not heard back from the employer, and then we will be able to follow up and tell them either the position has been on hold, or they cancelled, or if they hired somebody else. And we reach out to the student and ask him if there is anything that he missed on his interview or in his CV when he was submitting it. So we try to provide this support as well. So how we track it is also, we have a very good monitoring and evaluation team where we constantly evaluate on the students in every 3 months. Because once we train them, we have their database. So we actually call and check on the students, did you manage to get employment, did it help you, did it not? So we actually collect feedbacks, and that's how we actually collect. And the other thing is the website system will be also a very good, it's a good system that will be able to tell us from the employer side who recruited or not. So even if employers, they don't update it, we actually nudge them to actually give us those updates as well. So we'll be able to manage through the systems so far.
Well, finally, what's your message for those new fresh graduates that are looking for jobs, and those unemployed youths that graduated last year or a year before, and also for some universities, so that the youth graduates can find jobs easily?
Let me start from young people. For young people, I would just say, just believe in yourself and the ability that you have. And self-awareness is very, very important. They need to constantly need to build the habit of asking themselves, why am I studying this? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And then to follow up the next steps of, okay, how do I get there as well? And they really need to establish their networking system, their instructors, their brothers, uncles who've been recruited in different companies to give them information so that they can build their know-how about a specific industry or how or where they want to go. The second thing is they really need to sharpen their skills, and job searching by itself, it's a job. You actually really need to make a lot of effort, build a lot of skills, and you just need to be competent, and you just need to be that person who will be able to be seen from the crowd, because it is a competition, and this is the reality, and they really need to be aware of it. But it doesn't mean that oh, it's a competition that are out there and I should just stay behind. It means they actually need to be competent and on their own terms as well. When it comes to our universities, I would say from the past 5 years now, the universities are very much aware and aware on this issue, and they're actually working on to make it sustainable, to make it part of their structure, to even build the capacity of the instructors in different capacity. And I would just say my message is, go keep doing what you're doing, and I mean, at the end of the day, if a university cannot see their graduates succeeding or being somebody, I don't think they would have any measurement of that they're doing a good job. So the students are their final result, and I would say just keep going. When it comes to the ministries and different organizations, like I mentioned earlier, it is a collaboration effort. The young people are the next generation. They will be the ones who will be taking all our positions, and we really need to support them in different capacity, in different ways possible, by creating different platforms, or if we have to improve our ecosystems for education, even for them to become entrepreneurs. There are a lot of initiatives and different ministries working on that. I'm very aware, but that collaboration is also necessary, especially with the private sector, I would say.
Thank you so much, Siham Ayela, for joining me, sharing your views into the Ethiopian unemployment situation, as well as your company is just helping young graduates in finding jobs.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dear viewers, this is a conversation with Siha Mayela, who is Program Director at Daraja.com. Thank you so much. I've been Sintayot Amrat with this special edition. See you another time.